Thank you all for attending this webinar today. This is the Innovation Incubator presentations. It's the second group of innovators. There are 12 total that we'll be presenting at the EdTech Business Forum in New York next week. And these are 6 of them. You all will have a chance to listen, to ask questions via the chat box. And we have 6 presenters during this hour, so we're going to start right away with Jonathan from Reading Kingdom. Jonathan?
I want to remind the presenters, please unmute your lines right now by pressing *7. Presenters only, please unmute your line by pressing *7.
Everybody you want unmuted or just the current one?
Everyone should be muted except whoever's up, which is Jonathan with Reading Kingdom. But unmute your line by pressing *7 and then mute it again just by pushing the mute button on your phone.
Okay. Now, let me just say while I'm talking to you, Bruce, I don't know whether I've been promoted or not, so but to this advance your own slides. So we'll figure that.
I am promoting you now. No, that's Bruce.
I'm Bruce, but later on. I just don't, but so when we come to me, we can deal with that before I start.
Yeah, you're being promoted now.
Okay.
Okay. So we know Jonathan is ready to go. I believe, Jonathan, just check in so we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Thank you. You're on.
All right. Should I start now?
Please start. Lindsay's timing you.
All right. Thank you. Hi, my name is Jonathan Blank, and I'm here today to tell you about the Reading Kingdom, which is a patented, adaptive, Common Core-aligned online reading and writing program for K-3. I'm sure that I'm preaching to the choir here in this group when I tell you that we have some significant problems with reading education in this country. According to the U.S. Department of Education, 2 out of 3 students are failing to become proficient readers, and this has enormous costs to our education system and to our whole society, socially and financially. I come to this from a personal place, and if nothing else, I hope to serve as a testimonial for all of you out there who have difficult adolescents in your household right now, that one day you may become best friends with that kid and potentially even business partners, because that's what happened to me. Dr. Marion Blank from Columbia University is my mother, and over the last 40 years, she created and patented an integrated 6-skill method for teaching children how to read and write. Now, for many years, I've been hearing from her colleagues and her students and most of all her patients what a genius she is. And I have to say that I was always very skeptical, no doubt because it was my mom they were talking about. But I've worked with her over the years on many different projects. I sold a couple of books for her, and I came to really appreciate what she had achieved. Now, I myself come from a software background. I had been in software for over 15 years. I had a very successful software company called WildForm. And a few years back, Dr. Blank and I started talking about collaborating on creating a software version of her program. So I decided at that point that I wanted to try it out with a kid myself and see exactly what happened. So I went to a local organization that connects adults with kids who need tutoring, and they introduced me to Manny, who was a really great young kid. He was 7 years old at the time, and really smart, really fun, had a good attitude, but he was flunking out of 2nd grade. And he was failing because he couldn't read. I did a little research, and I found out that at his school they were using a combination of phonics and whole language, which is fairly common. But phonics has a lot of issues, which is that there are over 1,700 ways to spell 40 common phonemes. It's a very irregular language. And that's why phonics has almost 600 rules, none of which Manny could remember. And on the whole language side, he found himself adrift in a sea of unfamiliar words and sentences, and it just wasn't working for him. So Dr. Blank sent me her complete kit, which was a big box full of workbooks and worksheets, and I began working with Manny really consistently, implementing this integrated 6-skill method. And what it does is it integrates in a synergistic way all 6 of the key language skills in a way where they complement and reinforce one another, and even more importantly, it fosters comprehension at every level, which is so key. Now, obviously in 5 minutes, I don't have the time to tell you how Reading Kingdom teaches each of these 6 skills, but I'll give you a little insight into how the program is working. And Dr. Blank found that though English has over 1 million words, you can break that down into 2 broad categories. One are the content words, which are all of your nouns and most of your verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. And on the other side are the non-content words, words like the, of, and but, which are sometimes called high-frequency words or function words. And what she found is that there are 100 common non-content words that occupy 60% of every page of text in the English language, whether it's for kindergartners or graduate students. So Reading Kingdom teaches children these 100 words right off the bat, and it gives them a key to unlock the door to decode 60% of every page of text. And because these non-content words form the glue in the language, it also gives them a powerful technique to understand the syntax or grammar and the semantics or meaning in the language. I implemented this program with Manny, working very consistently, and in 6 months' time, he went from last place to first place in his class, and it was really the most rewarding experience I've ever had. So I sold off a big part of my software company and started working full-time on the Reading Kingdom. And just to reiterate, the key benefits of the Reading Kingdom program are it is adaptive, it's Common Core aligned, students can use it on their own, and it works for all kids, even ESL students and special needs students. So I want to thank you for your time today, and if anyone has any questions, I would be happy to answer them.
All right, thank you, Jonathan. And we have time for some questions. I am looking to see, I don't think I really saw any of them that come up yet. So do work on the rubric and get that filled out. Jonathan, until someone asks a question, is there a question that somebody typically asks you that you would like to go ahead and answer?
People frequently ask how many people are using the program. We have thousands of parents. We started off working with a lot of parents because the program is about 1.5 years old out in terms of being available to the public, and parents can make these decisions easier. But we have, every day we're getting contacted by schools, and right now we're in over 100 schools that have all come to us on their own and are signing up classes. In some cases, teachers are even paying for it out of their own pocket because they want to use it so much.
Are there any other questions? Diane has one. Does the program have a set number of lessons?
Well, the program is adaptive. So a child can come in and be placed at any point within the program based on where the program assesses his or her to be. So there are a fixed number of lessons if you started at the very beginning, but since at every point in the program is assessing what a child knows, a child can skip over lessons at any point in the program.
Okay. And somebody just asked, I'm not really sure. I have to do this very, very quickly because our time is up. Can you explain how it works in just a couple sentences?
Unfortunately, I can't. But if you email me, and my email, you can please put it in there. It's jb@readingkingdom.com. I would be happy to send you information that explains it in depth. It's just I can't do it in 5 or 10 seconds. Yeah.
It's there, jb@readingkingdom.com. And perhaps if you offer Jonathan your email, he can actually send you more information back.
Yeah, I would really be happy to do that.
Thank you, Jonathan. So we're going to come back now to the next innovation. And I have to admit that I'm not so sure if it's pronounced Recovend or Recovend. And so maybe...
It is recommend. You got it
recommend.
Correct.
Oh, right, like recommendation, right?
You got it.
Okay. Well, that's what I thought, but I wasn't sure. So I'm going to go ahead and let you start because I can tell the voice is coming through nice and clearly. Go ahead.
Fantastic. All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kyle Judah. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Recommend, and we provide intelligent purchasing platform for schools. So we're a collaborative purchasing platform primarily for higher education right now, although with plans to move down to K through 12, and we help streamline the purchasing process for goods and services at a school. We make it easy to discover, research, and buy the products and services you need at the best price possible. And we make it easy for a school or a school district or a university system to leverage that institution or that network's buying power to drive economies of scale and get the best price possible. So a little bit about our team. There's 2 of us right now. We're a young, lean startup. I have 5 years of experience selling into higher education. My co-founder and CTO, Jason Woodward, used to run Cornell's web development department for the last 10 years. So we've got a combined 15 years. We've seen a lot. And the biggest piece that we saw kind of creating a bottleneck, especially within higher ed, and I'm sure it's the same down at K through 12, is purchasing. Because right now it just costs a lot of time and money for everybody at the institution to go through, to find them, research them, and then actually go through the purchasing process that isn't kind of bogged down in bureaucracy. And right now we know with declining funding and tighter budgets, it's more important than ever that schools spend their money more efficiently. But it's tough to do that right now because so many of the processes are offline, they're inefficient, and they're non-collaborative. And that really hamstrings the ability for schools to operate efficiently. So Recommend, the best comparison is like Amazon.com for school purchasing. Like I said, discover, research, and buy the products you need, and our smart tech makes sure that you're getting the best price possible. So the general overview, again, find it easy to find vendors, no matter what you're looking for. If you're looking for math-related services and products, you can find Mathalicious. If you're looking for reading and comprehension, all you do is enter that in, and we pull up the comprehensive list of products, services, and vendors that are serving that market. You can go to each vendor's page and find demos and white papers and case studies and the general overview information that you need to determine whether this might be a fit for you. We help you research those products and services by connecting to peers at a similar institution, similar type of school, and in a similar role. So you're getting the most contextual references possible. You're not only finding out about new, innovative technologies this way, but you can connect to both and actually learn how to best leverage them within your classroom or within your institution. And when you're ready to make a purchase, we help you with that too. We make it easy to go ahead and engage different stakeholders across the school, whether that's instructional technology, IT, and higher ed, marketing, admissions, facilities, faculty, whatever it might be, to come up with a set of comprehensive purchase requirements and tap into the expertise, insights, opinions, and knowledge of your peers and colleagues. Educators, what does this mean for you? Quickly and easily find innovative tech and products, easily share those products up with the decision makers, have vendors compete for your business so you're getting better prices, and expand your PLN, as I mentioned, by connecting to peers at similar institutions that are already using kind of new technologies to find out how to best leverage them within your classrooms or within your institutions. Administrators, this is really where we show the most value. We aren't really traditional ed tech. But for administrators, we work to find you savings before you'll ever make the purchase. So our smart tech works in the background to identify opportunities to consolidate purchases and leverage your school or your school network, your university system's buying power to get the best prices possible. Again, make your budget go further. We help with data-driven purchasing, so it's all real-time information. Leverage the school's buying power and customize to your existing approval and purchase workflows. If it sounds too good to be true, it's really not. Even though we're young and our product's only been on the market for a couple of months now, we are in a pilot with 10 colleges, including Brown University, and our advisors include senior Accenture, supply chain execs, and school leaders, so we're making sure that this is built for the education industry. Last year, over 19,000 K-12 school districts and 4,400 colleges spent $500 billion on products and services. That's an insane amount of money. And we want to make sure that schools can spend it more efficiently. So with Recommend, schools can save 5 to 10% of cost of goods, 40% of purchasing-related costs, and 50% of the time spent during purchasing. And this adds up to millions of dollars and thousands of administrative hours every year, which means that you have more time and budget for initiatives like student support, expanding access, expanding capacity, infrastructure, financial aid, ed tech, professional development, all the initiatives that you have on campus right now, or that you want to have on campus right now, but you don't have the time or budget for it. Really quick, We're a SaaS service, annual license fee, $10,000 to $50,000, depending on the total amount of spend of your school or district. The important point is, for a K-12 school district, you're paying that back in 10 days, and for a college or university, that's 4 days. Everything after that is all savings for your school. So again, we're recommend. We're helping to try and transform how schools do business forever. If you work at a school, I would love to speak with you, learn more about how we might be able to help your institution out. As I mentioned, we're primarily higher ed right now with plans to roll down into K-12 in the near future. So we'd love to talk and learn more about how we can build a great product for you. Thank you very much.
All right. So thank you. And Kyle, does anybody have any questions for you? And until they ask a question, is there a question that you typically get asked where you didn't have a chance to say something about it?
Sure. So the biggest question that we typically get asked is, well, okay, smart technology, how do you find these savings for folks? Because that's obviously the crux of what we do. And because we start at the very inception of a purchase by helping you find those vendors and then work with you throughout that entire process, we're able to gather so much data around the activity stream of every single purchase. And we can compare that with kind of our global data sets. We have a transaction database of 5 million purchases made by colleges and universities with more K-12 institutions to come in the next 6 months that we can compare to, and based on the product category or the type of product or service you're buying or the size of your institution, we can actually tell you in real time, are you getting a good deal or a bad deal based upon what offers vendors are providing to you, and really, again, identify those opportunities to leverage the buying power. So even though a school might be outside of your district or even outside of your state, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to work together with them. So we have a lot of matching technology on the background that identifies those opportunities to consolidate contracts.
Okay, so you asked one question, which took about 3/4 of the time that we had left for questions, but that's okay. It was a lot. I
apologize.
Very quickly, who would the user be of this? Just in one word, or
sure.
two.
School administrators primarily.
Okay, great. All right, so I do think that we are done. Please do go ahead. You can send him questions at kyle@recovend.com. You can also put some more questions in the chat box. Again, when we ask you in the rubric how, whether or not about the user, keep in mind that this is it's a district or a university official as opposed to students, and that's why we asked the question the way that we did. And we're going on now to M-School. I believe that Elliot is, I know he's online, and it looks like he's able to take over the slides. So Elliot, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Terrific. Thank you so much. My name is Elliot Sanchez. I'm the CEO and founder of M-School. And I started as a middle school math teacher in New Orleans after Katrina. Since I left the classroom, I have worked at the district and state level, and I was the state STEM advisor to the last 2 state superintendents in Louisiana. The most concerning thing from that perspective was that we continue to see that only 4% of 17-year-olds, not just in Louisiana but across the country, are able to solve really basic problems with ratios, percents, and some of the most practical math skills needed for navigating day-to-day life. There are lots of really fantastic solutions to help develop math instruction, but the problem is these solutions won't always scale, not because the tools themselves won't, especially if it's online. It's easy to get access to students. The problem is that teachers are either buying out of pocket or the schools themselves are having to make the decisions. And that process of having schools and district administrators understand the needs of students day to day slows the adoption of things that you may see are incredibly helpful for students. So the question I began to ask was, what would a solution look like that actually was both scalable and was able to reach students as fast as they actually needed it? So I'd like to tell you about one of our students today, actually. She's going into her program now. This is Rajane. So she struggled in math historically. She changed from a lower performing school to a higher performing school because she had school choice, but she was still not getting what she needed in math. Online education wouldn't work for her, so she had the option to take some resources outside of the classroom, but she couldn't, for example, enroll in an online math class separately. And her school wasn't providing what she'd really asked for. Otherwise, she was successful. But every day after school, she would attend TCC. It was this Trinity Christian community in her neighborhood. It is the after-school center where she would go. She got snacks after school, supervision while her parents were working, and enrichment activities. But they really lacked the ability to give her any strong academic help. So I approached GCC along with 3 of our other pilot sites, and together we began an organization called M-School. M-School is a program that provides every student their own tablet or laptop. We have certified teachers available to them remotely. So they're not physically in the center, but they're available both for chat help back and forth and also voice conferencing and sharing virtual whiteboards to answer issues. We're using proven adaptive learning platforms. So every student is receiving in real time the most appropriate lessons for them. And it's in a supportive environment where she knows and has a relationship with those adults, and her parents have sent her there as well. So our initial results are really exciting, right? 2nd to 4th grade. She came in on a 2nd grade level in math, and in 6 weeks she had mastered all of her outstanding 2nd grade strands in the Common Core, all of her 3rd grade, and had gotten to 4th grade material as well. That was about 6 weeks of learning. It was more effective than the education she was able to get in her school day-to-day. And so the real question was, wouldn't it be great if this could be her experience in her school day-to-day? And as of fall of next year, it is. M-School is the first in the nation to be approved to provide basically a credit-granting program with public dollars that's outside of a traditional school system. We are trying to be able to bring blended learning as fast as possible to students who want it without having to wait for administrators who sometimes don't understand the benefits as much as the students understand the need. We replace 1/3 of a school day. We're not SES. We're not an actual school or an LEA in and of ourselves. We actually have a provisional patent to provide a credit-granting program that replaces 1/3 of a school, but outside of a traditional school or district setting. School choice is allowable under NCLB, and usually that's online, but we're allowing institutes individual courses that are not at their school. Right now, we are in Louisiana approved for 2013. I'm having problems with the slides. We are approved in Louisiana for 2013. Potentially, we can serve up to 338,000 students, but we know we have 100,000 at least who are in after-school programs who could benefit from this. We've secured our approval in Louisiana. Our next approval will be to apply to Colorado by December 14th. And then there are 6 other states where the foundations for this are theoretically available, but we still are in the process of applying. Our team has a wide variety of experiences, including Matt Candler, who took KIP from 2 schools to 37, and Dr. Lauren Bierbaum, who has 10 years helping consult with the academic programs in after-school settings. We're hoping that we can bring the innovations in adaptive and blended learning to students as quickly as possible and in a way that has never before been possible. So I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
Any questions? You can ask them in the chat session. So before they come in, just check the rubric. And then secondly, if you want to actually ask yourself a question so you can answer it prior to anybody else asking one, go ahead. It's your chance to provide more information, I guess.
I guess we're also sometimes asked about how the students have access to teachers and what that looks like. And one of the things that we're doing is we're using the time after school when actually we have teachers available. So our certified teachers are actually coming after school, and they are essentially working a second role as
second role as what? I wonder.
Sorry,
oh.
I lost you for a second. I'm back.
Yeah, you did.
Apologies. So our teachers are able to work a second role where they do tutoring one-on-one and are able to reach the students that way.
Okay. Anything else? Nothing else?
No, I was looking for questions. Looks like we don't have them.
Yeah. All right. Do I see? Yeah. If we don't see any questions, then go ahead and you can ask him the question in the chat box later. Just make sure that you do note that the question is for him and not the current one. Okay. So let's go on to, let's see, is it M-School? No, C8 Sciences. All right. Are you ready to start?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you quite well. Thank you.
Good. So tell me when to start.
Go ahead. You're on.
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Bruce Wexler. I'm a professor of psychiatry and neuroscience at Yale. And I have developed a brain-based, content-independent pedagogy to directly improve thinking ability in elementary school children. The problem that we hope to help you solve is the fact that too many children come to school unprepared cognitively to succeed. As you know, our brains and minds are shaped after birth by stimulation from the environment. Unfortunately, many children do not get the level and type of stimulation necessary to promote development of their cognitive abilities before they come to school. They then are placed in a situation, at no fault of their own, where demands are made of them that they're not neurocognitively prepared to meet. If you have attention problems when you're 6 years old, you're 8 times as likely to never graduate from high school, which means underemployment, unemployment, drug use, and jail time. Our solution is a brain-based pedagogy to directly improve thinking abilities and also simultaneously an assessment tool to provide you as teachers and administrators with information that has not previously been available on most of your children regarding their particular cognitive strengths and weaknesses. Our brain training program itself has 2 parts. It's one part is computer-presented brain exercises. Here are screenshots from the 3 exercises. I don't have time to walk you through the particulars, but let me tell you just generally that the director of the National Institute of Health did an evaluation of our program and said that our brain training program is easily the most sophisticated brain training program ever developed for anything. We are a next-generation program. We are also the only brain training program computer program that is integrated with physical exercises. We've designed a physical exercise program that engages the same neurocognitive systems as the computer exercises, but now in the context of whole body movement and social interaction. The computer exercises are done 2 to 3 times a week in 30 to 40-minute sessions for either half the school year or the whole school year, during school or after school. The physical exercises are done once or twice during the week. The whole program is engaging for children. The other thing that's different about our brain training program than any other program on the market is that we capture every keystroke of every user, every child. We use that information to evaluate and improve our programs, but we also have algorithms that analyze the responses to tens of thousands of responses of the children on the actual training exercises over the several-month period and translate that information to information useful for the schools. We had a school that implemented in Brooklyn last spring. At the end of the implementation, I met with the principal and all the teachers and went class by class showing them the performance that each child had achieved going through the hundreds of difficulty levels in our programs. For 80% of the kids, this was not news. They could see high performers and low performers in terms of cognitive abilities. But for 20%, it was a real eye-opener. One child, for example, was English as a second language, and they were then currently discussing whether to put that child into special ed until they saw the cognitive capacities so strongly revealed in the non-language requiring cognitive challenges of our programs. When I got ready to put the last class's performance up onto the screen, I said, the child who scored more points, 2,000 points more than anybody else in your school is in this class. Guess who it is? They guessed 3 times, and they were wrong. When I put up this next slide, there was actually a gasp in the room. Hector? Hector got all those points? And then a lively discussion ensued about Hector's cognitive strengths and weaknesses and what they could do to help him make more of his strengths. There was a school in Harlem where the principal said, over half my kids have ADHD, descriptively, and he was right. He also had a special ed kindergarten in that class, and in his school. We were able to adjust the parameters of our games so that those kids could successfully play them. When I showed the class rank of points for that special ed kindergarten to the principal and the assistant principal, there was one child who had 3 times as many points as anybody else in that class. And the principal said immediately, I've been trying to convince trying to convince the teacher and the parents that that child does not belong in special ed, and this is the information that's important for me to have. For every child, we provide a report automatically of their profile of cognitive strengths and weaknesses. The school in Brooklyn is using this in their parent-teacher conferences and in their planning conferences. Altogether, our program provides a multiplier effect for school benefit because we increase learning capacity for individual children, but just as importantly for the school, we increase self-regulation and attentional skills, which improves the classroom learning environment for everybody. The individual cognitive profiles allow personalized learning, and we have early identification of children with special needs and special talents. The evidence already shows that this is beneficial for children, both in terms of improving their cognitive skills, but also for improving, those improvements translate into improvement on the standardized tests in the schools. You can see in the next slide what the principal in Brooklyn said. Her school went from the bottom third to the top third in New York City in 1 year. Our program, she said, is the foundation for the transformation of the learning environment and the success in her school. Thank you very much. Be happy to talk to you about more things.
Sure. All right. So let's see. Any questions? Somehow this group isn't as prone to ask questions in the chat box as the first group was about an hour ago, and I'm not sure what the. I'm sure you're not shy. Do work on the rubric, and maybe if that's.
And so my chance to answer a question of my own?
Yes, sure. Well, here is one, actually. It's how
Okay.
much time should a student spend on the program? Daily, weekly totals.
Right. So the sessions are typically 2 to 3 times a week of either 30 to 40 minutes in each session for the computer exercises, and ideally 2 sessions or maybe 3 of PE per week. We think a minimum number of sessions for success is 36 sessions of the computer exercises and 36 sessions of the physical exercises. Some schools are doing that within half the school year, some the whole school year.
Okay. And there was another question. A couple of them actually are around cost. How do you charge, or what is the cost? If you can answer that quickly.
The cost for a whole school for a whole year is $5,000. We also have individual pricing. If you want to just pull out and try the program in a small number of children, then it's $150 per child.
And is that the $150 per child also the same for homeschoolers? If they
Homeschoolers, right now it's $199 per child.
Okay.
But if you buy for your whole school for up to 100 kids for $5,000, it's like $50 per child.
Okay. And then Diane had a question about the individual reports or class reports.
You get both. So right away, every day, the data is updated automatically. I didn't go into all the support materials for teachers. One of the things I was going to say is that this is not like commercial computer games. You don't just put a child in front of the game and think that does all the work. In fact, this is still school. It's still work. There's still an important role for teachers. Every day automatically there's delivered to the teachers a lesson plan for that day. They know what's going to happen with the computer exercises. It also gives the specific lesson plans for the PE exercises. And then the daily updates on the progress for the whole class. You get a class overview of how much progress each child has made on each of the 3 exercises, so you can immediately see the higher and lower performers and know where to direct your attention to help them during the class. And then you can click on each child individually, and you get individual reports on standard cognitive tests, which I didn't mention. We've built in NIH tests of cognition into our program that are just an extra freebie for the schools.
We have gone over the time.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So you can ask questions in the chat box, and the presenters, including all those that have presented so far, can answer them in the chat box as well. So we're going to go on to ICANN from Avant Assessment, and I think they are ready to start.
Yes, we're ready to start. Can you hear me?
Yes, very well.
Great. So my name is Marty Mack, and joining me today is Mimi Jett, Vice President of Business Development. And we are here to talk about our flagship product, ICANN, and how it personalizes paths to proficiency. So what does it mean for students to demonstrate meaningful progress on their path to proficiency in college and career readiness? At Avant, we are committed to creating personalized learning tools that engage students while developing and assessing this type of proficiency for languages and beyond, because we do believe that every student can communicate and thrive in a diverse world. Today we're going to give you an inside look at ICANN, a web-based, student and teacher tool for learning, engagement, evaluation, and measurement of achievement to standards. ICANN is about the interaction of teachers and students. Students and teachers working together to create personalized paths to proficiency. A 2012 CODI Award finalist for Best Student Assessment Solution, ICANN is built on a continuum of standards-based learning statements. The example above reflects a continuum of statements related to world language learning and the actual proficiency standards in the writing domain, starting with the novice proficiency level. ICANN statements are understandable and actionable for learners. Every student can see the path to proficiency along with their teachers and parents. ICANN provides an integrated environment for students, teachers, and parents. With ICANN, learners can participate in the development of personalized informative pathways of achievement, self-evaluate, create personal goals, and build standard-based digital portfolios of evidence of learning and competency. Integrated into daily use are the development of 21st century skills, including self-evaluation, creativity, collaboration, critical thinking, and communication. With ICANN, educators can guide students with standards-based learning targets, communicate expectations and how they are met, and create personalized informative pathways for learning. This supports the growing role of teachers as coaches and mentors. Teachers can guide students in a multimodal environment that supports iterative work, captures feedback, and produces that evidence of proficiency across any body of standards. Now we will show you key highlights, starting with the student. With ICANN, students are engaged in authentic work as they complete an autobiography of their personal language experiences, set their own goals, and self-evaluate, selecting from a rich set of statements. In addition to self-directed work, students respond to standards-based tasks provided by their teacher. They create digital evidence in multiple formats demonstrating their competency to show, I can. All student-created evidence is organized into standards-based portfolios by proficiency level. This product is truly unique and offers an integration of capabilities beyond what's available today. Research has shown that the use of portfolio in language classes for goal setting allows for higher achievement than if a portfolio was not included. Additional research has shown that web-based portfolios enhance student motivation and are more user-friendly for both teachers and students. Now we'll enter the teacher experience. Teachers select learning targets related to standards-based statements. These tasks may be assigned to individuals, groups, or classes, personalizing learning and guiding every student towards proficiency. In one place, teachers are able to manage tasks, evaluate evidence, and provide continuous rubric-based review and feedback. The rubric is visible to both teachers and students, providing that clear communication of expectations. Teachers can view and monitor the development of individual student learning portfolios. In one place, teachers can monitor that overall how students are progressing towards their expectations, as well as their personal expectations of themselves. And they can focus the portfolio to facilitate communication with both parents and students. Imagine a future where every student can. We do. We imagine a future where every teacher can confidently guide students based on evidence, and every student can actively create evidence of abilities and set goals, while every parent can actively partner and have access to this accurate evidence. We can, and we hope you will join us in making this happen. Your vote will help us gain the respect and response from the market that is critical to the success of ICANN. Are there any questions? Is this for all subjects or just reading and math? That is a question that we get, and currently ICANN is for any language, including English, and next year we will be extending that to the core subjects.
Okay, that's a great question.
Yeah.
And price of the program.
The price for ICANN for 24/7 access for 1 year is $9 per student.
All right.
There's another question that we sometimes get. May I offer it?
Sure.
So we are asked, where is ICANN? And how many schools and districts? And currently ICANN is implemented in 15 districts with another, I think, 14 on the way towards implementation.
Okay.
Nationwide, across the U.S.
All right. And then are you also going internationally with this?
Yes, we are going internationally. In fact, we are actively engaged with several international schools. They're about to come on board.
Okay. Well, there is about a minute left of Q&A. If I don't see any, I'm going to ask that you just go ahead and put it in the chat box and do work on the rubric so that you can get some feedback while everything is fresh in your mind about ICANN. And then I think we will take, let's see. Oh, the next one. I'm sorry. I went into the wrong slide here. But I do think that we're ready then to start with Classroom Inc. And if Lisa is on the phone and ready to go? You are. All right. I can hear you well. So go ahead and get started.
Great. Hi, my name is Lisa Holton, and I'm with Classroom Inc. And we're just going to try to, whoops, I'm going to let you do this. Hold on, we're having a little...
Sorry, Linda, we don't see the controls on our screen.
Okay, let me see if I can...
I'll go ahead and go to the next one for you.
Okay.
While she's getting you.
What name did you sign in under?
Christopher.
Okay, yeah, I tried to make you co-presenter earlier. I guess it didn't work. Let's give it about 20 seconds to see if it promotes you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead and just start with the next slide if you can.
Sure. This is Elena Martinez, and if you ask her what she did in school this week, she'll tell you that she solved a major editorial crisis at What's Up magazine. If you ask her teacher what she did this week, she'll tell you that she dramatically increased her reading scores, and if you ask her grandmother what she did, she'll tell you that she saw her future. If we go to the next slide.
Christopher, you're now promoted.
All right. Let's see. There we go. Okay, let's try that. Go, next slide. Oops, sorry, last slide. Okay, we got this. We're a nonprofit, and our mission is to close the achievement gap for adolescents by using technology in the world of work to engage, teach, and inspire. We're a startup with 20 years of experience, and that's because 20 years ago our founder walked into a classroom and realized that his workplace simulation might be effective. So we've served 700 students and 10,000 teachers, and our program is a supplemental reading program, print and online, and the heart of it is a virtual workplace simulation. So our students become editors and bankers and sports executives. They move through a virtual simulation in which they read an enormous amount of embedded information text in the context of their workplace. They not only increase their reading scores, perhaps equally importantly, they solve problems, they collaborate, they hire, they fire, and they see themselves not just as learners and workers, but with strong identities and confidence to see their future. We're student-focused, but we're absolutely we do a great deal of teacher support. So we do initial professional development, not just on our own curriculum, but on blended learning technology and now on Common Core alignment. We also have ongoing in-class support. We basically partner with our teachers and we give them whatever they need, wherever they need. And of course, we work with them now as we begin to do more and more online assessment. So we also get results. This is a study actually conducted by Metis based on 4 summers, 4,000 students, and as you can see, we not only address the summer loss in both reading and math, but we also posted gains. I should say that our full program is an 80-hour program. We're used a lot in summer school. We're actually, it's a great summer school program. We're also used after school. We're used as an intervention program in English language learning. We've been used in special ed. In fact, we've actually been used in a variety of places, including adjudicated programs. So we're here because, as we all know, the gap is widening in direct proportion right now to the income gap. And we believe that adolescent literacy and career readiness are two halves of a whole. We also are excited about a number of the tools that people have talked about today, and we think there's consensus building. And so we're a startup because we recently received a Gates grant for a Next Generation Learning Challenge. And we created the Sports Network 2, which is one of the only learning games based on 8th grade Common Core state standards using reading informational text. We piloted it with 400 New York City and Chicago school students this spring, and the results were really incredible. So if you go to the next slide, this is just an example of some of the text that you see in the program. So our students, they're actually sports executives. They're presented with a huge challenge. They have to actually solve the ratings of a teen TV show, and throughout the simulation, in this case, they actually have to read a passage and find correlating text. They have to read a lot of different kinds of text, and then they're assessed continuously. So this is the teacher dashboard. He or she sees not only what the class is doing, but what each individual student is doing as they move through their either support or challenge activities. And again, as you can see, we really had incredible responses, both from the students who talked a lot about reading in context and also working with other people, as well as teachers who felt it was an incredibly great tool to address Common Core standards using informational text. So based on our experience, which has really been amazing, we are actually now creating a new series of web-based simulations called Reading in the Real World. The first one is starting, we're just starting production. It's called New Directions Bank. And at the conference, we'll be looking for distribution of our programs as well as investment. But mostly we're excited about working with teachers and students and administrators to help close the achievement gap.
All right. That's clearly within time. That's great. Thank you. So, questions? We have some questions about the rubric because I guess there were some confusing companies on there, but if you just, as Lindsay kept saying, skip ahead, you will find it. Lynn has a question about
what grade level? They were 8th graders, and actually, so they were 8th graders in the program, and they were, and the standards were all 8th grade, and these were 8th graders who were all struggling readers.
Okay. Before we go on, LaDerby, are there any other presenters?
Yes, there's one more.
Okay, because I don't see any more slides. Unless you put them in the beginning?
No. Let's see. It should be Platinum Math. I was having trouble with ReadyTalk earlier today. Okay. It's uploading, so it should be like another minute. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. So Lynn's question got answered. Any others from folks? Who do you find are the either the decision makers or the folks who actually would purchase the product or start using the product as opposed to purchasing?
Well, usually the decision makers are either principals or districts. But because we're a nonprofit, I should say that we're actually subsidized by philanthropy. So our programs are either purchased and sometimes they're actually placed by funders. So often teachers who use our programs come back and we can actually make it possible for them to use the program, on an ongoing basis.
Okay. And then for those of you who are on the rubric online, Lindsay has a note. Just please use your back button on your browser and go back, or on the survey itself, and vote for the last presenter, since these last two actually got mixed up, and we apologize for that. Just make sure that the name of the innovator is the one that you are providing feedback on. Okay.
Okay, the slides are uploading now. Should be another 30  30 seconds or so. Okay.
And can you, all right, so Ellen is suggesting that, well, Lindsay, did you mean the back button on the browser or the back button on the survey? Because now the web page has expired on Ellen. So, Lindsay, oh. All right. And there's a refresh button, too. Helen says that might work. That would be great. Okay, so we're still waiting for slides to upload. Okay. So our next presenter is going to be Platinum Math. And I believe this is the first slide for Platinum Math, which comes, I think, from Triad. So, all right. Is it Scott, or who is actually presenting today?
Scott or someone from Triad, please press *7 to unmute your line.
I just didn't. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can now.
Okay. Okay. Awesome.
All
yeah,
right. Go ahead and start. And do you want to control your slides?
Yes. So if you can make me presenter, it'd be awesome. And Derby, did you happen to put my video on? I don't really need it, but if it's there, then I can use it. But not a big deal.
Okay. No, it's not on.
Okay.
I was having
only like 45 seconds. It's not that big of a deal. All right, that says I'm being promoted to a presenter. So
yeah, you were promoted just a bit ago, but I guess it's off.
Yeah, go ahead and start. Ladurba and I will move your slides along until that gets.
Okay, awesome. All right, my name is Scott Brewster, and I am part of Triad Interactive Media, and we are located in North Carolina and New York City. We have offices in both places. We are a startup. This particular product is Platinum Math. If you would advance to the next slide. And Platinum Math is a online formative assessment suite of video games for pre-service elementary teachers. One thing about Platinum Math is that it has been developed partly by funding from the Department of Education's Small Business Innovation Research Program, initially for college-level math methods course, for a supplement for those particular courses. The tool features conceptual and skill building to parallel instruction in methods courses. And that is what you'll find as you listen to me talk a little bit about our problem statement. And I think you're going to still have to go next, Derby, for me, because it's still not progressing. And we think that math teachers certainly get into the classroom and in some cases have a conceptual understanding of math, but in some cases don't even have the basic conceptual understanding of some elements of math. And so this particular tool kind of helps bridge that by teaching the conceptual understanding of math, which really should occur first, and then starts to build teachers' procedural skills. And teachers have a lack of confidence in teaching math, according to research, and oftentimes, according to research as well, that teacher preparedness programs are inadequate. Next slide, please. The key concepts within this particular program are that the tool is a console quality product, and that means it would be something that maybe you would see along the lines of like a PlayStation, that type of visual and technology quality. It's based 23 mini games, all are standard based, and there's an engaging narrative with live action that kind of sandwiches each of the 23 mini-games. And here you'll look at the next slide and you'll see, next please, still not going. You'll see some visuals from both the gaming aspect of this product as well as the narrative background. And you see we've got more like Pixar-style cutscenes that bridge these. So this particular suite of games was developed again for college level students, and so the narrative is engaging, but the gameplay is engaging as well, and it's starts out at the very basic level, but then gets more complex as the teachers go through these 23 mini games, which cover the core standards. Next, please, and you can actually skip the next one. It just shows another visual of the games, and then the next one is the remainder of our key concepts. There are learning videos for each of the particular standards, and these learning videos precede each of the games. So not only do the teachers get an opportunity to play games that have both conceptual and procedural types of activities woven into the games, but as well as they receive a learning video that actually scaffolds the concepts from the very basic, basic level in terms of simple all the way to the particular complexity that they're going to engage in once they play the game. There's a back-end tool that the users can see their data and they can see their progress, and that is, of course, important for them as well as important for the faculty who are going to be guiding them while they're teaching their methods courses. The next particular slide, if you can move forward, please, is showing that we do have development of this product has been complete for some time, maybe 3 or 4 months. But this particular slide shows that we're now developing it for mobile. And the next slide, please, shows a little bit about kind of the overall philosophy of Platinum Math Suite, that we have the lessons that essentially describe the concepts in an explicit way, and then the games, which are kind of the other end of the spectrum, and then at the center of it is the future teacher acquiring a deeper understanding of these concepts through, again, there's 6 levels of difficulty. Computer-assisted instruction is used to progress the teachers within those levels. And then next slide, please. I'll skip 2 slides, if you don't mind. Initial testing of this product showed that teachers really did have a deeper understanding of math. It increased their confidence, so we're very excited. And and I think that's really all my time. Here, if you look at the next slide, we do have some resources that are available that you can look online. Question?
Yeah, so if nobody has a question, you can use up a bit of your question time to ask about resources or initial testing results if you'd like.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, like I said, with our testing, we had a iterative testing of all the product as we develop it, and we used more of an agile development process. We got really great feedback, but then after that, we just tested the full product with 6 cohorts within universities, and that we're taking these future teachers were taking their methods course for math. And the evidence showed that they did enjoy math more, and they had a deeper understanding of the concepts, and that was really exciting for us.
I think the distinguishing point is that these are you in a place where it's noisy?
It shouldn't be noisy here.
Somebody else. Sorry. There's a lot of background noise. If somebody could move their phones.
And maybe somebody else, because it's not me. But at any rate, somebody asked what grade level. It is definitely for college students. It's for, our idea is that there could be derivative products developed from this, because the games could be played from the schools, as well. But, yeah.
So it's college students who want to be teachers?
Yeah. It's designed to go along with the same time as their methods courses in math.
Okay. All right. That's a good clarification. Any last question? All right, then for those of you online and listening, if you would please finish the rubric. And for those of you who do complete the rubric, we are offering a Starbucks gift card in, sort of as a small token of our appreciation for your time. If you have other questions, you can either ask them of the people, because I think some of them had their contact information there. If not, you can certainly ask Lindsay, who has, I think, sent you an email, and anyone else from the staff of SIIA to get at that information. And otherwise, I'm very, very pleased that you were able to join us today, and look forward to having you join us in future efforts, because I think we'll probably be doing this in our next cycle of the Innovation Incubator program, and that would be probably, mark your calendars, for about the last week of April. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Please stand by.